everybody. Good evening and welcome to PBA Q&A. I'm your host, CEO of the PBA, Colie Edison, and our guest on today's show is the 12-time PBA title holder, the real deal himself, Mr. Bill O'Neill. Welcome to the program.
Colie, thanks for having me on. This is going to be cool.
So Bill is joining us from a basement just outside of Philly. Tell us about what it's like where you are, Bill.
I'm close to New York and New Jersey, so it's kind of similar to what's going on there. I think things aren't great. Been kind of doing the shelter-in-place thing for a little while now, and just spending time with the family, hanging out with the kids, and trying to stay busy with that and help my son with his schoolwork whenever he needs it. And that's pretty much it.
All right, Bill. So the way that this show works is we have three really fun segments. We want to get to know you a little bit, have our fans get to know you a little bit, and see what you're willing to share with us. Are you up for it?
Of course.
All right, great. So this is actually our fourth show. We've been getting a ton of feedback from our audience and our fans. So we've switched things up this week. The first segment is going to be Tech Talk. We want to learn a little bit more about your technique, your strategy, and how you've really developed as a pro bowler. Then we'll go into our Plead the Fifth frame section, and we will end the show with our awesome PBA Trivia. Are you ready to get into it?
I am. I'm probably going to bomb at the trivia, but I'm ready.
All right. Well, you have some stiff competition there, so we'll see where it goes. All right. So Bill, let's start with Tech Talk. What do you think is the most challenging oil pattern you've ever bowled on?
I try to give I give an answer here. I get this kind of question a lot, and as a professional, I try not to have any favorite or least favorite pattern because I want to go into every event that I bowl thinking I can win. And so if I have this is my least favorite, it's setting up myself for failure really. And if I go in thinking that, this is it for me, I'm going to dominate, and I start out bad, it's hard to recover mentally. And over the years, I've been on tour long enough that I've had success on almost anything that we've bowled on. But if I had to actually give you a legitimate answer for this question, I would tell you that longer patterns with a higher volume of oil. So typically like a shark type of pattern, how it used to play some years ago would be the hardest one for me.
All right. Bill, how many balls do you bring on tour with you?
It could be any number. Typically I'll travel around. In the PBA, we have a truck that carries balls for us, so that helps a lot. But in any given tournament, in between the paddock and the in the truck or in my car, I could probably have 20 to 25 balls probably.
And tell us a little bit about that truck. What's the experience like having your ball drilled on the PBA truck?
It's pretty hectic. When I first came out on tour, I didn't realize that they didn't do any of the actual work for you, like put the grips in or sand the holes out. And I didn't do any of that. I don't drill my own equipment. I was a dummy when it came to all this stuff. So I get out on tour and it's like, here's your ball, has three holes in it, figure it out. And I didn't know what to do. So now, obviously I'm a little bit better at that. But it is pretty chaotic. You go in there, you fill your sheet out with your specs on it. You pay for it, and then you come pick it up later, and then you're kind of in and out. And I try not to spend too much time in there so I don't get confused. So I try to make it as quick as possible.
Yeah, we're gonna have to take the audience on a behind the scenes tour of that truck because it is chaos.
Yeah, you grab a couple of the ball reps and they'll show you around.
All right, so here's a fan question as we're talking about bowling balls. This is from Hunter Spring 12. What is your favorite bowling ball?
So I've been with Hammer for 10 years, maybe over 10 years now. So I've gotten to throw some great equipment over the years. And I've had a lot of success with balls with the Black Widow name on it, a bunch of them. So I would have to say probably the Black Widow Legend was a ball they came out with, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago. I've bowled so many years now on tour, I can't keep track. I'm at that point, I got the gray hair, so now my memory's fading. It's all.
We don't want you to hurt yourself, Bill. Don't think too hard.
Yeah, so the Black Widow Legend would be, that'd be it.
All right, so EJ talked a little bit last week about his style. You have a similar style to EJ. How would you say you can help people improve their rev rate if that's something that they're working on? Right.
So I think I get asked questions a lot about style, and I think what people have to understand is that what is natural to you is what you should be really doing.
It's a really good point.
EJ couldn't bowl like me and I couldn't bowl like EJ. The way that EJ throws it, that's just how he started bowling. He just picked up the ball and he started to go. And that's, you should just kind of make small adjustments off of those things. So if you have a really, really low rev rate, you're never going to get to have a rev rate like EJ. But you can have a little bit more rev rate. And when I was younger, like in my early high school days, I didn't have any rev rate at all. And so what I did was I started to practice at my house with a bowling ball. Now, I don't know if my parents like this or not. I'm not really sure. But I would only put half of my thumb in the ball because then it allowed me, like the two-handers, it allowed my wrist to get in more this position, and I would just roll the ball into the couch. And I would just feel it. Like the idea of like, because it works like a yo-yo. That's how you create the rev rate. So it's not lifting up as much as it is how fast you go from here to here. So that's what makes the ball spin faster. So that's how I just developed a feel for it, because to try to go from, step 1 to step 5, full motion, and increase your rev rate, by 100% is just not going to happen. It's too many steps. So I just like try to break it down to the beginning and just roll the ball into the couch and let my hand and my wrist, have an idea what that felt like.
Okay, I just want to say a little PSA for all the kids at home. We are not responsible for your parents' couch if you decide to do this.
Yeah, pick something softer. Maybe put like a bunch of towels down or something.
I love that. That's awesome. That's really good advice, especially for the people who are practicing at home during this time who can't get out to the lanes. So that's great.
Yeah, because it was a big misconception for a long time that how rev rate was created was lift, and people always thought it was because that's something my grandfather always used to say, lift. But they, once you actually slow it down and you see guys that have tremendous rev rate, their elbows are bending a lot as they're coming down. And the wrists go from here to here, quickly, and that's how, just like a yo-yo, how the rev rate happens.
That's awesome. That's super useful. Another fan question I have is from Killer Shark 9021. How much do you practice? How many hours a week are you practicing when we're on tour or when we're leading up to the tour?
Yeah, so obviously this is like, when I'm on tour, when I'm off the tour, two separate answers. It's also two separate answers for when I was younger in my career and as to now. So at this point, when I'm on tour, especially like this year, I was bowling well. So I didn't have a lot of off days. So the off days were I didn't bowl at all. There was no practice. I just, kind of tried to recharge. But in the off season, I try to get to the lanes. Like I try to do more frequent trips to the lanes with less time. And that's just what's good for me at this point. I don't want to, I focus more on the quality of my practice rather than the quantity, because now I know what I have to do when I have to throw it fast or slow or in the middle, and how I have to change my rotation of the ball. If I want to change my rev, I know how to do all that. So I'm just kind of making sure it's all sound. So I go in and I bowl for like an hour and make sure everything is right, and then I get out of there. Because if I practice for too long, my mind starts to wander. I start to drift off, and you get into throwing bad shots and creating bad habits.
So if you could you walk us through your shot? What is going through your head as you're picking up maybe the ball from the ball return for the opening frame of a match? Can you walk us through that a little bit?
All right, yeah. So I'll take you through like my shot, as it's like I start. I think this is really important. I say it all the time. People who've watched me do many interviews are probably tired of hearing me say this, but the pre-shot routine is very, very important. So before you even step on the lane, you want to have a routine in place that you do every single shot, whether it's in practice, whether it's in league, whether it's in tournaments, or whether you need a strike to win a tournament. It should always be exactly the same, because you're training your mind that this is the same shot as you threw in practice. So that, because your body knows what to do. It's like sometimes you get in your own head and you're, in the nerves and all those things, but to do that routine keeps you in that moment as best as possible. Like if you watch golf, they do that all the time. They stand behind the ball, they visualize their shot, the guys move. They're doing it the same every single time. And that's what I try to do as well. And then once I get on the approach, I set my feet, I look at my target, I take a deep breath, and then I go. I don't do any thinking when I'm once I get on the approach. I just let it, I practice enough. I know exactly where I'm supposed to throw it. You just get up there and just do it. Because for me, once I start overthinking, that's when it's gone.
Yeah, you hear a lot of athletes say that, it's really just, it's all in your body and not in your head once you're up there.
Absolutely. And I mean, if you watching the Michael Jordan documentary now and you just see how much he worked and everything. And that's the same kind of idea. You just work until it becomes all just muscle memory.
All right. So the last piece of our tech talk, what is the one piece of advice you would give someone who's trying to make it as a pro bowler?
My one piece of advice I give to everybody is to bowl everything. Like every tournament, practice takes you to a point. But if you want to get to an elite level, at the elite portion of any level, whether that's the elite of your league bowling, elite local tournaments, whatever that is, the more competition that you take in, the better you're going to be. Because no matter how much practice you do, you can't replicate throwing meaningful shots. So like whether that's a shot to get a check in a tournament, whether it's a shot to make a match play or to win a tournament, you need to have those moments and you need to have that time built up for you to be successful. You have to learn how to win. So it's always my advice, bowl every single tournament that you can at whatever level that it is that you're at.
All right, you heard it from Bill. Bowl. Get out there. All right. Enough with the tech talk. We're going to head into a really fun section now. Thank you for all that great advice and for walking us through, a little bit of the technical side of things. Now let's go to Plead the Fifth frame. So here we're going to ask you some questions that you might not want to answer. We hope you do. But if you don't want to answer, please feel free to plead the fifth frame.
Okay.
All right.
Ready.
So you are a 7-time member of Team USA and a gold medal winner in international play. What countries after the U.S. consistently produce the best bowlers?
Oh, it's a tough question. I would say as a whole, I guess if you look at our tour, it's probably England would be the country that would have the highest success rate off the top of my head.
We're not going to count Australia. We're just going to.
No, I don't do Southern Hemisphere countries.
Burn. Okay.
Yeah. So, England's produced some, and then when I used to bowling for Team USA, the country that we would have the most trouble with was South Korea.
Yep.
And they always had great players, and they didn't travel a lot to bowl a lot of our events, but when we bowled them with Team USA, they used to give us a lot of problems. So those guys on that level used to really do pretty well.
Yeah, a lot of talent coming out of there. All right. In the bowling world, you're known as the real deal, Bill O'Neill. Where'd this nickname come from? Yeah,
so it was certainly an accident. I was senior in high school, and one of my buddies, who was a year ahead of me, his name's Rob Preshot, he went to Saginaw Valley, University of Michigan. And he wanted me to come there, and join up with him and bowl in the team. So he was telling the coach about me. So when they bowled an event in New Jersey, I came over and kind of, bowled with them and practiced with them just to kind of meet the coach. And Rob was really hyping me up a lot. And then, I decided to go there. And the first tournament that we bowled, I won the individual portion of the event. And then the coach said to my buddy Rob, well, I guess you were right. I guess he is the real deal. And so it wasn't really meant to be like a name. It was just saying about. And then I really don't even remember in college people really calling me that. I guess they did, but it was just kind of a name, and it rhymed with my last name. So it just, it kind of stuck. And then it was a little awkward when I first started on tour with that nickname, getting announced in pro-ams as a rookie with no accomplishments next to Pete, Norm, and Walter. And so that was kind of awkward.
Right. But, are you sure you're the real deal? I've never heard of you before.
Yeah, exactly.
Any other nicknames you had growing up?
Yeah, I had a couple. One that sticks out. I used to be quite a bit heavier when I was younger, and I used to have longer hair, and I used to slick it back, and it was jet black, and it was so.
You're creating a beautiful vision for all of us.
Yeah, I probably have some pictures laying around that I could throw it. But people used to call me Eddie Munster.
Oh, good one.
Yeah, that wasn't great. It wasn't one of those.
All right, so you've won a bunch of doubles titles over the years. Who's the player you would least like to bowl again with in a doubles format?
like the least. Oh man, who would I not like to bowl with? You know, I enjoy Chris Barnes a lot. He's one of my good buddies, and so that's why I feel safe saying that I don't want to bowl doubles with Chris anymore.
All right.
We bowled a couple of times for Team USA doubles. We never won anything, and he's too analytical for me. You know, he's just always asking me too many questions, and sometimes I can't be bothered telling him about how many boards I moved, or I want to know how many boards he moved. You know, I don't know. I'm just like,
that will be good for his future career at the desk, which is something I think he wants.
Yeah.
All right, we are going to head into our final segment of the night. This is PBA Trivia. As you may know, the title holders right now are EJ and Kyle Troop, who are both tied for first place with 5 correct answers. So if you can get to 6, you're going to lead the pack, but it's 5 is the number to beat. I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions. We are going to put a minute on the clock, and we'll see how many you can answer within that minute.
Okay, can I plead the fifth on these?
You can pass.
Okay.
You can totally pass, but we will all judge you. We will all judge you.
All right.
All right, I am going to get ready to go. We are going to put 60 seconds on the clock, and it will start when I am done reading the first question.
Okay.
You ready?
Ready.
All right. You are one of only 2 bowlers to have won 3 World Series of Bowling titles. Who is the other bowler?
Belmo.
Correct. The earliest known forms of bowling date back to where?
England.
And we're looking for Egypt. How many 300 games have you bowled in PBA competitions?
Oh my goodness. 28.
30.
Okay.
When your ball hits the 1 and 3 pins for right-handers and the 1 and 2 pins for left-handers on the first ball, what is this called?
In the pocket.
That's right.
All right.
In the early 1970s, I had a new idea to soak my bowling balls in special solvents. This led to great scores, many titles, and new rules governing such practices. Who am I?
Don McCune.
Correct. I have won 40 PBA Tour titles. However, I had a dry spell of over 7 years between my first and second titles.
Will Duke.
Correct. What is the term for a pin hidden behind another pin?
Double wood.
Sleeper. When did the PBA open membership to women? All right. Time is up. We didn't get to finish that question, but it looks like...
I think I got caught in a technicality on that last one, and I'm going to need to go to the review board for...
All right, let me go. It doesn't matter because you only would have gotten 5 if you got that right, but you have 4. We are counting 4 correct answers.
I would have tied.
You would have tied, but I didn't get to read that one.
All right.
Let me see. Should we give it to him? We're giving it to you. You have 5 correct answers.
Right.
We're now tied in first place with Kyle and EJ.
How many did Belmo get?
The prize is absolutely nothing. So, congrats.
All right. I'll take it.
Bill, you are an awesome sport. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We had a great time talking with you.
No problem. Thanks for having me on.
Anything else you want to say to all the fans at home?
I'm looking forward to getting back out there and bowling and competing, and I hope you guys are looking forward to watching us and going out and supporting all your local bowling centers. When it's safe to open up and we can get out there and start enjoying bowling again. Awesome. And any thoughts about the upcoming PBA League draft? Yeah, I'm really excited for it. I think that I will be with Lucas Wiseman co-hosting. I think, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. So I might be doing that again, and looking forward to that. That's awesome. Yeah, so tune into that. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it usually is. So we're looking forward to seeing who goes first. Yeah, so join us on that May 17th. PBA League Draft will be on Flow Bowling at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Bill, thanks so much for being on the show. Thanks to all the fans for watching. We hope to bring you more of these, and we hope to get back out on the lane soon. As always, stay safe at home. And remember to send us your videos using the hashtag #BowlAtHome. We can't wait to get back out on the lanes with you all. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Take care. Bye. Thanks.